Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube video. My name is Raksha Gopal, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the ways in which I really began healing generational trauma, or rather ancestral trauma, and really breaking generational cycles. We're going to talk about how we can really begin this process. Perhaps you are somebody who really feels called towards doing this very sacred work, and you want to know how to really begin this process in your life so that you can heal yourself and you can also heal your bloodline. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the ways in which I've done this on my journey, and I hope that some of it resonates with you. Ancestral trauma is trauma that has been present in the bloodline for many, many decades, and it tends to be passed down from one generation to the next, right? And when we are healing ancestral trauma, it's really important that we begin to look at our own traumas. So the first thing I would definitely say is that how you can begin healing ancestral traumas within yourself is to really look at your traumas, look at your patterns. A lot of times there's a big correlation between your traumas and the traumas that your ancestors have faced. Now, it's not just only about looking at the traumas we have faced, but also looking at other aspects of that, such as how do we respond to any stress? How do we react? What are some of our fears? A lot of times our DNA carries a lot of this ancestral traumas. It really has this, it's shadowed by a lot of the things that our ancestors has gone through. So one of the ways to really begin this process is to ask yourself, what are some of the things you are facing? A lot of times it connects directly to some of the fears, some of the experiences that your ancestors have faced. Looking into these patterns that you are facing doesn't come too far from what your ancestors have faced, right? And I know for me, when it comes to my trauma, when I look into some of the traumas I've faced, I know that it directly correlates to a lot of the traumas my ancestors have faced, my grandparents have gone through. And so I can make that direct, connection that the reason I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing is that I have given myself the opportunity to finally shine the light of awareness on these experiences and to really transmute it. And as a cycle breaker, you are a transmuter. You are meant to be somebody who really transmutes a lot of the pain that has been in the bloodline. And how you do this is by shining the light of awareness. You becoming aware of these patterns, becoming aware of your trauma will help you to finally, release it and heal it. Therefore, it's really important that when you start to recognize these patterns, remember that the reason you are going through a lot of your experiences, the things that you've gone through, a lot of the things that you have faced in your life, you have given yourself those experiences to help you evolve, to help you heal yourself, heal your bloodline, and to really, to grow in consciousness and awareness. But once you shine the light of awareness onto these traumas, you completely dissolve these patterns that is present within the bloodline. So I definitely say, looking into some of the things you've gone through, your traumas, will give you a good indication as to some of the things that your ancestors has gone through. We give ourselves experiences to show ourselves to show ourselves that these are certain things that are present within the bloodline and have been present within the bloodline for many years. And now it's time for us to finally shine the light of awareness and to bring light to all the darkness that have been present in the bloodline. The second one is to reparent yourself. Reparenting yourself, yeah, it's really important, because a lot of times the traumas that we have faced, they really start in childhood. Our parents tend to really pass down a lot of conditioning, skewed belief systems, and a lot of, I would say, fear onto us. And when we are young, we become conditioned to really believe certain things about the world and to see the world in a certain way. And a lot of times it comes from the lens of the way in which our parents have seen the world. Now, our parents, if they have not healed a lot of trauma, they tend to pass it down to their children. And if your parents have not done the work and not done the healing, you most likely have carried in a lot of that trauma that they have not healed. So it has been passed down. So one of the ways to really reparent yourself is to go back to your inner child, to go back to your inner child and to really be there as an adult to your inner child that had to go through a lot of things, probably had to face a lot of childhood trauma, was susceptible to a lot of conditioning, right? So I would definitely say that, reparenting yourself starts by you understanding that your inner child is still present within yourself, and that sometimes even in this moment as an adult, you find that your inner child calls out to you. There's a lot of needs probably in your childhood that your inner child was not really met with, and a lot of things that really your inner child needed as a child but was not given. But you as a parent, you know better, and you understand that you can be there as an adult to this child version of yourself that still exists, and you can still tap into he or she. One of the techniques that I really like to use when it comes to inner child healing is a visualization technique. And this is something that has really helped me along my path, is visualizing myself sitting next to my inner child and having a conversation with him or her, letting them know that you are there for them, letting them know that they are loved, that they are worthy, that you are listening to the needs that they were not really, given as a child, listening to them, making them feel heard, making them feel seen, right? So, really meeting the needs that your inner child needs to be met. That's how you really reparent yourself and heal, right? Another way of doing this is by reconditioning yourself and unlearning and relearning, unlearning a lot of the conditioning and relearning, taking on belief systems that are much more aligned with the version of you that you are now, because as I mentioned, we oftentimes see the world through the belief systems of our parents and grandparents. And when we recognize this, when we shine the light of awareness on this, we can then change this and shift this. But if we don't, then we become unconscious, and we tend to run on those belief systems that are unconscious within ourselves, right? So in order for us to really take in the belief systems that are much more aligned and much more authentic to who we are, we need to be able to unlearn. That means to shed a lot of the conditioning and to then condition ourselves, going into our subconscious mind and really reconditioning our subconscious mind, adopting beliefs that are much more in alignment with who we are now and who we want to be, right? And this will really improve our well-being. It will heal us. And therefore, this reparenting really allows us to, be there as somebody who we never really had as a child, to be that parent, to be a much more healed and aware um, version of ourselves that is a parent to our inner child, that can really heal us from the inside out. Number 3 is releasing through energy work, and this is whatever works for you. Energy work can be any sort of energy healing modality that really allows you to release trauma within your body, any stored trauma, any stored emotion that might be present within yourself. And I know for me, what really helped a lot was breath work at the beginning of my journey. Now I do tend to lean towards doing yoga. Even the days when it feels like I cannot do anything, if I just do yoga and meditation, then I'm okay. I know that I'm moving forward in my healing journey, because it provides such a, I would say, huge emotional relief. I know that I'm releasing energy, I'm releasing emotional baggage, energetically. And so, whatever works for you, if you find that Reiki or breath work or yoga works for you, adopting one of these energy healing modalities can be so beneficial. Our bodies tend to hold on to trauma, and the body keeps record of a lot of trauma that we've gone through. And therefore, doing energy work can really give us this sort of, I would say, tool that can help us to release a lot of stored trauma and energy that might be present within our body. We really absorb these things energetically, we hold on to it. I think that we tend to really trap a lot of traumas in our body energetically can really affect us, especially if these traumas, are not really being released. They become energetic blockages that can cause a lot of physical ailments. Therefore, finding a energy healing modality that works for you can be so beneficial. It can be a tool that really helps facilitate this healing process. Number 4 is forgiveness, because forgiveness really helps us to cut off energetic cords that might be present between you and another person. But this is a type of forgiveness, I would say, that starts with self-forgiveness. It's very important on our healing journey to really self-forgive, to forgive ourselves first. I think that really leans into forgiving other people. When we can forgive ourselves, it really makes it much more easier to forgive another person. And forgiveness starts by understanding that the things you've gone through, the experiences you've gone through, they were there for a reason. They were there to make you a better person. They were there to evolve you, make you stronger. But also, as a cycle breaker, you are somebody who has been given this very sacred work of doing the healing in the bloodline. You are probably the strongest person, and that's why you've been chosen to do this very sacred work that is present in your bloodline. You might see a lot of people, a lot of family members that are in your bloodline. They tend to have very normal lives, I would say, but you find that life has not been very normal for you. You have to go through a lot of things. You have to go through a lot of experiences that has grown you, that has changed you, that has transformed you. And that is the reason why you've come here, to really shift things and change things in the bloodline, because you have the power to do so. And understanding that the cause you've given, you can make the most out of it. You can grow, you can change a lot of things. That can really allow you to let go and forgive yourself for all the things you've gone through. A lot of things were not your fault, right? And therefore this allows you to forgive another person. Forgive them, because that is a very important step in cutting energetic cords, cutting karmic cords between you and somebody else, maybe an ancestor that has passed on, or an ancestor that is yet to be. But forgiveness is very important. It helps us to cut off energetic ties that we might have with somebody. Once we can forgive, there's less resentment and anger. Rather, it is occupied with a lot of love and empathy. Number 5 is connect with your ancestors. If there's anything I know, is that when you are somebody who has chosen to do this very sacred work, your ancestors will be next to you as you do this. Your ancestors will be right there by your side, holding your hand. Okay, this might not be all the time evident to you, but they definitely are. They guiding you. And I know that this has been very true on my journey. They can recognize a cycle breaker, and therefore they come to assist. Because being a cycle breaker requires a lot of strength. It's not easy. The things that we have to face, the things that we have to go through, it's not easy. Not everyone in the bloodline is going through those things. So connecting with your ancestors can be a very powerful way to ask your ancestors for guidance when you need it. But remember that your ancestors are always there. You can do this through meditation. You can do this before you go to sleep. Asking your ancestors to give you some guidance in your dream, writing a letter to your ancestors, asking them for guidance, speaking to them through those letters can really help you to connect with them. Your ancestors are present, and they are awaiting somebody to really awaken and to really do this type of work. The moment you do it, the moment you begin this, they are there to assist you. They are there to provide you with guidance, to provide you with anything that you require on this healing journey. And asking them for guidance can really help you, can really facilitate this healing journey, and can really benefit you a lot. That's it for this video. I hope that some of the things that I've shared in this video does resonate with you. I think that when it comes to ancestral trauma and breaking generational cycles, it's very important to remember that we are doing this sacred work not just for ourselves, but we are doing it for the collective. Whatever we are doing, whatever healing work we are doing, it does have a ripple effect throughout the entire collective. But most importantly, we are clearing out the space for the future. for our kids and, you know, grandkids, and for the ancestors to come and the ancestors that were. Okay, and you know, you will be guided and protected as you do the sacred work. It is a very sacred thing to be called towards breaking generational cycle. You are the healer in the bloodline, and you've come here to do this very sacred work. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for receiving today. I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.